What's there to love about Chicago? More than you know. Please be sure to stick around to the end of the video so that you can hear what I really love about this city. I'm Gil Juarez. I'm a realtor here at Compass in Chicago, Illinois. I'm a Chicago native and I'm here to tell you some of the top things that I love about this city. Okay, so this is in no particular order, but one of the first things that I really love about the city is the summertime. Everything's open. You can go to a rooftop bar, have beautiful views of the city. You can rent a boat and go out on the lake, and if you're really crazy, you can anchor it in the playpen and party on like Wayne and Garth. All the outdoor patios are open at your favorite restaurants, and you can soak in some sun, and seasonal depression would be typically a thing of the past. The second thing that this city has to offer that I think everybody loves are the festivals. In the summertime, you have countless festivals pretty much every weekend. You have Wicker Park Fest, there's a festival in Pilsen. Of course, you have Lollapalooza. Sueños is now a new summer festival that's coming to Chicago. There's multiple festivals literally every weekend. There's really no reason why you should be inside when you can go enjoy everything that Chicago has to offer. The biggest problem is just having way too many to choose from. All right, the third thing we have on the list, and maybe I'm geeking out over this, but I love the museum campus. The museum campus is comprised of the Shedd Aquarium, the Field Museum, the Planetarium. Just a little bit down the road on Lakeshore Drive, you'll have the Museum of Science and Industry, which is personally my favorite. But not only that, Chicago has other museums that sprinkle throughout the city, like the National Mexican Museum of Art, the Chicago Cultural Museum, the Chicago History Museum. There's so many other places that you can visit aside from the primary museum campus that everybody knows about. And be sure to keep up with updates about these museums because there's usually free entry to Illinois residents on certain dates. Next up on the list, we have the restaurants. Now, I'm not talking like chain restaurants like McDonald's or Portillo's or anything like that. I'm talking about like small business owned, real Chicagoan restaurants. A couple that I can think of off the top of my head are, just to name a few, there's Ina May in Wicker Park, there's District Bar and Grill, there's Ooh Wee It Is, and Kuma's Corner. You can't forget about that one. And if you're more into fine dining, there are 23 restaurants with at least one Michelin star. Up next on the list is catching a game. Now, I'm filming this in 2023, and our teams just aren't having the best year so far. So it is always good to go and catch a game with some friends, catch up, and if the team wins that day, I guess you could just call yourself lucky because as of lately, it hasn't really been happening for us. But we have beautiful stadiums. You can catch the Soldier Field Stadium while the Bears are still playing there because they're supposed to be moving to Arlington Heights. That's an entirely different video. The Bulls, the Blackhawks, White Sox, the Cubs. There's so many things to do inside the stadiums and around it before and after the games. It's always a good time to just get out and about and go ahead and cheer on a Chicago team. And did you know that Chicago is also the mecca for professional wrestling? You can find a lot of cheap amateur shows here, and more importantly, cheap beer. Up next on the list are the neighborhoods of Chicago. So Chicago is a city of neighborhoods. There's small borders that separate each neighborhood. It's typically separated by main streets or maybe by a river or a highway. And there are upwards of 77 neighborhoods in Chicago right now. And actually there's gonna be a 78th coming in the next decade or so. They're working on it. Either way, every neighborhood has their own gems. For example, Avondale is a neighborhood on Chicago's northwest side, and they were recently named one of the coolest neighborhoods in the world according to Time Out magazine. They came in at number 16. And the reason why Avondale is one of those neighborhoods is because they have everything from bars to restaurants to plant shops, and everything is highly rated. Everything is straight up Chicago. Nothing about it is fake or anything or any type of facade. These are all small businesses run by Chicago natives, and they make it Chicago. Up next on the list is the Skyline. I mean, have you seen the damn thing? It's literally the best skyline in the world, and it's not even an opinion at this point, it's just a fact. If you go to the signature room in the John Hancock, you can get really good drinks there and you can see all of the city from there. In fact, the Bean was built so you can have a mirrored view of the entire skyline. And personally, my favorite part of the city to view the skyline from is the Planetarium. I mean, it literally can't get any better than that. And up next, we have Chicago's transit system. It's literally, they can't make it any easier for you. You have trains and buses that run all throughout the city. It's so easy to get anywhere with $2.50, $5 max, $10 if I guess you have to make your way back. But you can literally get to any part of the city just by using the Chicago Transit Authority, or the CTA is what we call it here in the city. You can have a blast with just $5. And then up next we have the architecture of the city. It's incomparable. You go around the city and you see everything from Chicago graystones to Chicago bungalows, even major architecture in the city like the Chicago Water Tower, which was one of the only buildings left standing tall after the Great Chicago Fire. And if you have friends or family coming in town, treat them to the Chicago Architectural Tour. It's gonna be a great time. Last on the list, we have collaborative and supportive people. The people here always show love and support for each other. It's a reason why we have so many small thriving businesses, why athletes and artists make it big from Chicago. Everybody just loves to come out and support, no matter who you are, no matter what you do. Art showcases that go on all the time that are jam-packed, music showcases, and when you attend these things, it's always a good time. I'm curious about what are some of your favorite local artists, restaurants, and small businesses. Put us on game and make sure you give them a shout out in the comments so that we can all go and support them after this. So that's all the stuff that I love about Chicago, but there are some things to be wary about in the city, so go ahead and check out this video that I did where I go into more detail about that. My name is Gil Juarez, and I'm a realtor in Chicago, Illinois. And if you need to find a place to live tomorrow or further down the line, feel free to send me a text message, email, give me a call. I'd love to help you find a home that you love.